Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And Bonsai says hello as well. Yeah, another seniors moment happening here. Alrighty, let's wait till he's finished this little performance. Bonsai, stop it, stop it. Yeah, I know. Okay, we're actually talking about a very, very serious subject. And it's about sex education in schools in South Africa. You know, when I was at Cornwallis in Pietermaritzburg, I would have been about, 9, 10 years old, I guess. And they did have sex education, but basically they explained the basics. And they said, listen, guys, until you get to leaving school and you get married, that's when you start looking into it. And that was a very, very serious message that was presented as part of sex education. So the sex education back in the 1960s was really understanding that kids are going to find out about this stuff, but just giving them direction on how to actually build a life before you get caught up with all sorts of problems if you have kids when you're like 13 or 14 and stuff like that. So it was a very, very good, positive message that was taught to us at junior school. Consider what's happening in South Africa today under this ANC government. Now, I've got this email from Melina. Thank you, Melina. She always sends me great stuff. And it's a web page where they're wanting people to sign a petition, and I'm going to put a link to that web page directly below this article because I think it's that darn important. What they say in the article, which is dated the 24th of July 2016, so remember this is about 3 years old, but apparently things haven't got any better in South Africa. And they say comprehensive sex education is not approved by South African parents and has been taught in schools behind their back. The nature of the curriculum is destructive to children. Most CSE programs include components such as teaching that promiscuity is a right, promoting dangerous alternative sexual practices which increase the risk of sexually transmitting diseases, encouraging children to experiment sexually with members of the same sex and of the opposite sex, teaching children to advocate for so-called sexual rights, exposure to explicit and pornographic content, encouraging children to use condoms at an early age without informing them of potential failure rates, disregarding parental values and parental involvement in education, and demeaning traditional, moral, religious, and cultural values shared by families and the community. And that's the biggie. That is the biggie in this whole thing. You know, when I was a kid growing up in Pietermaritzburg at Cornwallis, that last point was totally reinforced. Now they're stripping it away. Is it any wonder that South Africa is the rape capital of the world? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, they go on to say here, this is a dangerous proposal that must be stopped. South African children should be taught holistically about sex, not from an agenda-driven ideological perspective that demeans our traditional cultural values. Now, my understanding is that since this petition was put out, this program, this Comprehensive Sex Education Program, or CSE, is now in play. It is absolute disgusting disgrace and a reflection on just how badly, how poorly the education system is in South Africa. And as we know, it's par for the course, just lowering the morals of the kids. And that's why there is so much trouble in South Africa. You know, I know unemployment's a huge thing, but look, there's absolutely no moral compass at all. And that is the great tragedy of what's happening in South Africa. Just continuing with this letter, they say, we are deeply concerned that multiple UN agencies, federal and local governments and school administrations are implementing, promoting and or funding controversial comprehensive sexuality education programs that sexualize children and take away their innocence. These programs go way beyond regular sex education and are designed to change all the sexual and gender norms of society. They openly promote promiscuity, high-risk sexual behavior, and sexual pleasure, even to very young children. Now, we know that the Clintons are heavily involved in the National Health Insurance Scheme, and I've put up a number of videos about that, and all the evidence is there. You can actually go to the web pages and see what it's all about. Of course, the mainstream media in South Africa aren't touching that, are they? Nah. It's too hard. It's too hard. But they'll probably say that I'm delivering fake news. And I had an email from one of my subscribers who noticed in News 24 put up an article at 5 a.m. yesterday morning. That's the, let me get the day right, 5 a.m. on Thursday, and promptly pulled it down again. And the article is basically saying that Loving Life from overseas are pushing fake news into South Africa. Now, I don't know why the article was pulled down again, but I'm going to show you the evidence that was supplied to me by one of my subscribers. And it'll be interesting to read that article if it ever gets published. Because we know who owns News 24, don't we? Yeah. All right, guys. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. And please like this video and stay safe. Especially if you're in South Africa. Cheers, guys.